Hey, and welcome to Soaring Profits. I am always James, and this is my cohort,
Patrick.
Patrick. And today I was thinking about the people around me. Like through my journey to self improve myself, I have made a lot of changes in my life. I've cut out food, changed the
Stopped
way
eating
I
completely.
stopped eating completely, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
I changed
Meditates and
the things I do with my money, thanks to Pat. I've changed the way I live. I've changed even in the place I live, really. Everything about me has changed. But I was thinking about it. Also, the people have changed. Like over the course of the last 6 years, uh, I haven't really cut out people, but my focus has changed. So therefore, the people that I allow into my life have changed. And as I have moved forward, I kind of stopped keeping in touch with the people that don't serve the way I live anymore.
right.
And I thought might be good to talk about that because we talk about like mental health and we talk about enriching our soul. And we talk about how to make our body better. But also, the people around us is a very important thing to look at because the people around you can change your life just as much as you can yourself. And I just thought it might be an interesting topic. Like, ha- have you noticed as you have grown that you have changed the people that are around you? Like, what kind of people do you tend to hang out with now compared to when you were younger? Like, if you look at the people that you were with when you were younger compared to now.
Yeah. Now it tends to be more prostitutes and drug dealers. Too soon.
Well, that was good.
Too soon. Thanks for coming, folks, as always. Pat.
James.
No, no, 100%. There's no question. As you age, as you mature, as you change. It was funny because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine today, actually, and we were talking about how relationships work, and long-term relationships and short-term relationships, and just the changing, ever-changing dynamics of relationships. And one of the things that we talked about was, when you're involved with somebody, whether a friendship, whether a romantic situation, that initial meeting, that initial time that you're with them, you know, uh, everyone says, "Oh, you've changed," or "They've changed," or something, and it's like, yeah, yeah, of course they have, right? And that's where you've got to figure out how to dynamically change and shift and grow together. And I
Right.
think the kind of the conclusion that this person and myself came to today was that that is a huge task in today's society, this instant gratification society that we live in, to go along and spend a 35, 45, 55-year relationship with somebody. That's a that's an interesting thing. Now that goes back to, again, romantic relationships. It also goes to friendships. Like when I look back, some of my friends from elementary school. I don't. Do you talk to many elementary school people?
I do
High
not.
school friends, right? Like I've got
Yeah.
a few buddies that, well, to be honest with you, I would say that recently the last of my high school buddies has probably dropped off the face, and it's
Yeah.
like we just have diametrically opposed worldviews of what family is, for instance, in this situation.
Right. Yeah.
And we just, my viewpoint is that, like, I do everything I possibly can for my family, and I do that indeed, right? In
Hmm.
what I actually do on the daily basis, is that it's not just okay to throw up a picture of your kid on the weekend and call yourself the world's greatest dad.
Right.
That doesn't cut it. So I've made lots of sacrifices. Having my daughter very young, I somewhat alienated myself from some of my friend group early, because they were going to the bars, they were doing the party scene, they were
Right.
doing all that sort of thing. So I didn't have that option. I was very focused on my daughter when I had her, right? And then now that I have her full time, that remains my goal, and that set that precedent. Well, all those guys now are having, babies.
Right.
So we're at different stages. We've pushed through different, parameters. Mine was earlier. Now I'm in this stage of my life where I'm growth. I'm trying to get hungry in this position and moving forward and growing something for my family, where they did the party thing. They had a lot of fun when they were in their 20s. I had lots of fun, but just a different type of fun. It involved Chucky and cheese, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think as you're going through and you pivot, you want to hope that you have people around you that are positive. You want to hope that they bring a different skill set. They have an educational mentality about them in regards to teaching you, showing you, implying something for you. and that you can give back, right? There has to be that give and take
Mhm.
relationship in anything. So,
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. When I look back at my relationships when I was younger, it was basically just come on in. Like if you had a
right,
heartbeat, come on in. Like it didn't matter if you were a negative person, if you had goals, if you just liked the party or whatever. I just took you as you are, and
right.
we just did it. But then as my life grew, and
What'd you
exactly,
do?
I had sorry.
What'd you do?
Lots of things.
Just did it.
Just did things.
Did
And
things.
then as my life grew and,
Yeah.
I had children and I started that family, you're right. You shut down a little bit because you're focused on your family, or I was. Not everyone's like that.
Well,
Like
and you
there
protect your
were
family
other,
from those
yeah.
morons, right?
And then you start protecting your family from the people that you thought were your best buds,
Right.
that you were like, I spend every weekend with them. I spend every Thursday with them. And
Yep.
now I don't want them around my children because they're not a good influence. They're not going
Right.
to show them a positive life.
Yep.
And, some of them were lifetime welfare people. And,
Yep.
when I was younger, I didn't care, like be a lifetime welfare person. They would wake up in the morning, smoke weed and spend the whole day doing nothing with their life.
Right.
And these were like fine people. Like they didn't suffer from mental health. They didn't have a deformity. They could have went to work every day.
Right.
They just chose to smoke their life away.
Right.
And so as I grew up, and a lot of it was for my kids, I just didn't want these people around my kids. But also, like recently, it's been for me.
Right.
It's been I just like there were negative people in my life uh, that I try to help because I don't know if you know, I'm a bit of a helper, and I wasn't really helping. I was enabling. I was
Right.
like listening to their stories, and they were dragging me down. Like when you have
Yep.
a negative person that shows up every time, no matter how positive you are, like I talked
Right.
about this in a couple of podcasts, no matter how positive you are, if you spend an hour with a negative person, it drags you down to their level. If you spend an hour with someone who's not goal driven, it drags you down to, like they go, yeah, we could go for a run, but we could also like have a beer
Right.
and go sit in the backyard and sit in the sun.
Yeah.
I don't have time for those people anymore. Like
Right.
I don't want I want to go over to someone's house and they go, yeah, let's go for a run, let's go for a hike, let's go kayaking, let's go do something.
Right.
So I kind of like not meanly, I just stopped calling them.
Right.
If they called
Well,
me
you
today, I would answer,
totally, and
but
you'd probably help them if they
I
needed,
would
if they
help
had a
them.
problem in scenario.
Yeah,
Yeah. It,
absolutely. But I'm not seeking to hang out with them anymore
right.
because the people I want in my life are people like you, driven people who have goals, people who model good techniques, good life values, good family values that aren't just wasting their life.
Sure.
That teach me things. Like
Right.
I said today, and tomorrow's you'll see it tomorrow. That I seek people who have wisdom. I
Hmm.
seek people that know things, and in your case, I seek you. When it comes to money, I was talking about if I want to buy a new stock, I talk to you about it. If I want to buy a
Yep.
new house, I talk to you about it.
For sure.
Anything monetary, I go to you for. And and then motivation, I go to the billionaires of the world. There's
Yep.
all kinds of videos out there of them talking about how they work every day, it even goes down to what their day looks like
Yeah.
first thing in the morning. And if
It's
you
a time like
learn,
no other that way, that you have the access to information like we do.
right,
Right. It's a very interesting timeline to be able to have those. And I think that, when Google and YouTube and all of the search criteria, that when it first came out, everyone watched cat videos and then they
right,
learned what the T-Rex would have looked like.
yeah,
There was like some really interesting stuff that we pulled out
yeah,
of it. But now we're starting to focus that on. I know that, for instance, in our channel, what we're looking at is getting yourself right,
yeah,
right? Your mind, body, soul, and your finances. And
mhm,
that, to me, is a whole life-changing journey that can
mhm,
start with one little thing, like what you had done with your domino journey, right? And
yeah,
there's so much out there now. There's so much information. Whereas that was, $150 an hour therapy couch,
totally,
10, 15, 20
yeah.
years ago.
You had to pay a $500 ticket to sit in an auditorium with 1,000 people to hear
Right.
these people talk, and
And
now
we
you can
only
just
ask for a like and a subscribe.
like and subscribe. Maybe hit that bell so you get a ding whenever we put a video up.
There you
Not
go.
much to ask for. But yeah, no, like and the information, the wisdom you can garner from that is unbelievable. Like,
Right.
um,
It's
just
tactile. You can touch it. Like
you
it
can
is
touch it.
real.
Like if
Yeah.
you start changing your day to the way that these people are changing their day.
Well, and you are like, and you're
Yeah,
saying it like,
right.
don't discredit what you're doing here. Like this really
Well,
is.
thank you.
You've had people reach out to you over the last little while in personal conversations when we've been out and about, and people
Right.
are stopping you and are saying, "Hey, I checked this out. I saw this. Somebody sent me this. That sort of thing." And
Yeah.
we're just starting. We're trying to build a channel here. Like we are
Hmm.
not. Uh, we're not a big YouTube piece yet. But what
No.
you're doing is literally touching people on a daily basis to the point where you're a national treasure, James.
Oh. I've heard that been said.
A national treasure.
National treasure. Well,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice. Not really what I'm going for. I just want to help people, but you're absolutely right. If we can help people with money, finances, like you do, like I know people are reaching your profiteers are
I love it.
reaching out to them. I actually had a gentleman reach out to me on Instagram today and just say, thank you for your inspiration videos, basically. And I responded to him. I thought that was awesome. And that was such a great thing to hear. And then I had a young lady who's a friend of mine
Yep.
reach out to me today, private message me and just say, you know what, you're my light and things are going well. And
That's
it's
cool.
really nice to hear that stuff. I hope that we can help. And, if you have questions, like we'd love to answer them. But I think that's just it. Bring the people that will be life changing into your life. Stop hanging out with these people that are drag you down. If you're
Right.
going to someone's house because you want to go fishing, you want to go running, you want to
Yep.
go to the gym. I had this friend way back. So I'd say 30, good friend. I may have smoked weed back in the day. I'm not going to admit it. But anyway, so I joined this gym and I convinced him to join the gym with me. And for the first week, every day we went to the gym. And then I'd show the next week I showed up and he's like, yeah, we're going to go to the gym. Let's just smoke this first. And it stopped us cold. He was an enabler that I allowed to enable me. And basically we had a week of the gym. But if
Right.
he was a guy like I am now, like if you came to my house right now and you said to me, let's go to the gym, I'm like, yeah, I'm on it. Let's go right
Yeah.
now. I'd hop in the car right now, I'd grab my shoes and let's go. There would be no point where I'd say to you, let's smoke a joint, let's have a beer, you know what, let's just watch this YouTube clip first. You got to cut those people out of your life to be
Yeah.
successful. You got to find the people that are driven.
Right. Well, and that's
Yeah.
I think it goes to the stimulus that you take in. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that for myself, I have all the memberships. I don't know the last time I was on Netflix,
Right.
Disney Plus. No, I watch an absolute load of YouTube, and
Right.
everything that I watch, everything, all of it is information just directly tapping right into my brain.
Right.
Everything that I watch on a daily basis when I have any downtime, I do not watch movies. I do not watch TV shows. I do not watch series. I uh, I got told that Will Smith slapped somebody. I don't know. Like I don't. That is just so
Yeah.
like abstract to me. I don't know why people
Yeah.
understand that or give a crap about Will Smith.
No.
And to me, it is just so obtuse. So for me, when I'm taking in information, and that's why I feel like I'm able to, kind of, dissect the world a little bit
Yeah.
because I have so many sources of direct information,
Mm-hmm.
right? I read, I watch, I search, I internalize that.
Yeah.
I geopolitically am able to pull things together. Then I can infer that data and make an assumption. If you're sitting at home and it's the Trailer Park Boys is your Saturday night, give your head a shake.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
what
not
are you
going to
doing?
get farther from that. That's giving you no information. Or
Nothing.
if you're using YouTube as a pleasure, like you're watching funny videos and you're watching just crap.
Yeah. Cat
TikTok. If you
bloopers.
spend
Yeah.
hours on TikTok, except for our TikTok's lovely, soaring profits. Come check
After
us
10
out.
o'clock, TikTok's fantastic.
It's awesome. But no, like, so I probably 3 years ago, even that's what I did. I woke
Right.
up in the morning and I spent hours just flipping through TikTok. I'd flip through
Yeah.
funny movies and And but now my days are like yours, except different. You watch money and profits and politics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I watch more motivation and anything to do with like science. I really like some science today. I was watching some AI stuff that's really interesting,
Yep.
life changing. I think we might do a podcast on it. I just got to watch more of it so I understand it.
Yep.
But I watch stuff that excite me, that'll grow my mind now. Stuff that is thought provoking, stuff that makes me want to get up and do something.
Well, but
Either
what
write.
does it do for you when you go out into a social setting as well? Like
Oh,
you and I,
absolutely.
when we started talking about this a long time ago, is that we would go out into a social setting and we would talk to these people, and they were just normal everyday people, and you would get past, hi, how are you? How's, nice day? Did you
Yeah.
hear about? And they would have nothing.
Nothing.
They were just empty. And
Yeah.
it's like, if you ask them, who won the Oscar last night for, best supporting actress, that you nailed it, they'll know.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
but they had nothing that was inferring any positivity into their real life or anything about the world. So
That's
when
right.
you'd be sitting around as an adult having a brandy, like in our picture over here over my shoulder, when you're sitting there and having that conversation as an adult, and you go, oh, what do you think of the way the world's going right now? And they go, yeah, what, take the 7 minutes in your day.
Usually they came back with whatever Facebook, TikTok,
Right.
or
They
YouTube
changed their
flashed
poster
at
to
them.
the Ukrainian flag, and therefore
Exactly.
they've covered it.
I helped is the term. Yeah.
Was that you
they
picking
just,
your nose? Like
that
Ralph?
was me
Was that
picking
what
my
that was?
nose as Ralph.
helped.
I helped.
Yeah.
That's Charlie, my dog, barking outside.
He's glad you helped.
He is glad I helped. But
Yeah.
no, you're absolutely right. They would give us that, and then we would give them thoughtful argument. And I remember us doing this back a lot.
Yeah.
And they would come back with, well, you're a racist, or you're just a white male, so you don't understand. So the conversation would stop, because it's like, well, you don't want to have like a logical, intelligent conversation. You just want to shut me down because you don't have information to support your argument.
And you and I have had many conversations with individuals of all different, communities.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why I have a fairly staunch view of the world the way that I do, is because when you, in a lot of these situations, and I'm not saying all, but in a lot of these situations, when you go to them as a member of X community and you say, okay, well, what do you think about this? And they roll through the narrative that's been pitched to them. And then there's no argument from that point on.
No.
And it's like they're empty vessels. And that's what we're trying to do, is we aren't perfect. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring something to the table. But it starts that dinner table dialogue that you listen to us on the drive into work in the morning, you laugh and joke a little bit, you go, what a bunch of morons. Or you go, hey, that Pat guy, is he ever funny? Or James, is he ever handsome? Right. And then all of a sudden you sit there and you've got something to talk about, and you go, holy shit, did you hear about the Chinese bond market? And people around you are like, what? And you go, I'm smarter than all you morons.
I'm smart.
Right?
And then
you get a little feather
it
in your cap. And then exactly, because where'd you learn it?
Or maybe you have an opposing view to what we have. Maybe we're talking about some subject that you're like, well, before we were talking about Russia and Ukraine, and maybe you have an opposing view. Well, go out and get the information to argue against us, and then that's wonderful. We'll have you. Have an informed opinion. That's all we're talking about. But those are the people you want around you. You don't want the empty people. The empty people are wasting your life. They are not going to help you. They're going to hold you back. The negative people just bring you down. The people that have no drive are going to stop you, because, like I said, you're going to go over to their house to try to do something. And next thing you know, you're sitting and having beers around a fire, not accomplishing anything. But whereas you and I can't tell you how many times, like, we go, clean a garage, or you come over here, move some trees. You don't sit down and have beers. That's still a
story.
That's still a story.
We'll have that one day on air. Yeah, that's a good one. But just don't do any limb work when James is around. Yeah,
no, when I'm around. Not during broken relationships. Anyway,
that was good.
Yeah. That was a tough time. That was a tough.
But you had to get rid of those people. They were. That was funny.
Yeah. So, but that's just it. Like, we do go out and we do have fun and we do have drinks, but there's a time for that. Like on Saturday there, we spent the whole day boating.
Yep.
That's because we accomplished so much in the week. We needed a break, right?
Yep.
We drove around, we had a good time, we chatted, we went out for a nice lunch.
Yep.
Because we put in the work already.
Yeah, it was great. No, your son, I think, had a great time and enjoyed
Oh,
it.
he had a great time.
I think he's going to be getting the boat license here soon, and he'll be.
Oh yeah,
captain.
He'll be buying me his boat. I think that's what we discussed. He was going to buy me a big boat.
Well, that was the graduation gift, I think, right?
Yeah, to me,
to you. I love it.
Yeah,
well, just keep Uncle Pat in the books.
I think that's the way it should work. Like if your kid finishes university, they owe their dad a grad gift.
I think that seems fair, seeing as I'm about 6-7 years away from that. That seems fair.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you just get that in contract, please?
I will get that in contract so that way it's ready. James's kid bought him a boat.
Right. What's wrong with you, loser? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm still working on your daughter to start signing up for the gender issues. Course.
Yeah. So that's been an ongoing running joke here, is that James is always like, yeah, Harlow's going to be a gender studies major out at this prolific university in the area, and I always go over my dead body.
Yeah.
So
I contacted her. Was that a month ago? And I said, if you could just say, you know what I'm really thinking about doing gender issues, and she did.
Yeah, she did. She's got a sense of humor.
Gosh, I love her.
But I'm pretty sure that as soon as it was sent to me, I'm like, James.
You did. You like,
I'm on
your thumbs were on fire. Yeah. But we're getting a little off topic, as we often do. But
no, but we are and we aren't. That we're continuing to imply the people that we surround ourselves with, right?
Right.
And we've had a good friend of ours had a bit of a tragedy happen in his life this week, and same kind of situation, is that I hope that he feels the same way that you and I do about the way that we reacted to that, and that that I believe that we were there and we showed them he was there, and whatever you need, pal, we're just going to be there. And that's, hey man, you got to hide a body? Yeah, we got you. You need this done? We got you. It is what it is. But
whatever you need, like,
we're all working together to progress each other. So
well, the gentleman you were talking about, absolutely, like he's like one of our brothers, and it's just, you drop everything, in times of need. It's like, if you need something, I know if I needed something right now, you drop everything, you'd be here,
call him.
You'd help me.
Me.
I bet you. I meant you, but him too.
I haven't had dinner yet. So.
But that's who you want. Like I remember my 100%. Dad, when I was younger, his advice was, if, like, my dad was a pretty tough guy. He kind of grew up on the streets a little bit of St. John, New Brunswick, tough area apparently. But he used to say, like, if you are in a fight and the guy beside you runs away, that's not your friend. Right. The guy beside you is going to stand beside you no matter what you go through, no matter what you do. He's going to be there. And if you look beside you during the times that are bad and they're not there, he's a waste of your time. Get rid of him. Absolutely. You just have to have those people that always stand up and be there for you. And that works in not fighting situations. It's like us when we go through, like, I've gone through some tough times, and both these gentlemen that we've been talking about have been there for me in like huge, huge ways that I can never ever thank them for. And it's just what you do when you have the right people in your life, and that's who I seek now. Like when I go to social gatherings, when I go to when I was golfing the other day, I met a gentleman that he actually builds the containers for nuclear reactors or something. I didn't understand a word he said, but smart guy. But those are the people I seek out now, the guys who know, or women that know things, that have drive, that want to do things, that want to be out in the community making a difference in the world. Right.
And as you surround yourself, you see that you just end up in deeper conversations that tend to drive you down a different path. Totally. And take the time to educate yourself on the world just a little bit. You don't have to know everything, and nor does anyone expect you to know everything. But ask questions. And my father always used to say to me, he's like, put things in the form of a question. And when you're a young man or a young woman, people remember being young. And I've done that. Hell, I've done that with you 1,000 times. If I got a question about something, I throw it to you, like, what do you think about this? It's like, I've already got the plan in my mind, but what do you think about that?
Yeah.
Today I had a bit of a lawyer situation I was dealing with, and I got off the phone with you, and I called you and I gave you the lowdown. And then I wanted to see your reaction, because I'm like, okay, he's going to give me feedback. Right. And that's what it was. Right. And you're like, hey, that's not a bad start.
Yeah, I think it was great.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
the whole thing, is that I pitch off you, you pitch off
Yeah.
me. And when you surround people like that and you trust their opinions, you don't have to, I wasn't looking to you for advice today. I was bouncing something off of you.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
Yeah.
But when you get a couple people like that in your life, you can do those situations and then they just come so much easier and smoother. So
It totally, yeah, and sometimes they've already been through it, or like I know when I went through my
Right.
separation, I talked to the people who've already been separated in a positive way, and I tried to model after that.
Not
And
like the Lonely Hearts Club or anything. You
not
just
the Lonely Hearts Club, not the Bachelor Society,
right. Yeah.
but hashtag Bachelor. No, but you're absolutely right. Like if you have people around you that make good decisions when it comes time for you to make a decision, even though you don't necessarily need them to tell you what to do.
Yep.
You just want affirmation
Yep.
about what you're doing is right. And sometimes I've made the wrong choice.
Oh,
and I've come to you and said, okay, this is what I'm thinking of doing, and you're like, huh?
Right.
Oh, James.
Ruh-roh.
And this is why you shouldn't do it. Oh, exactly. And this is why you shouldn't do it. And you give me a logical, thought out description of why I shouldn't do something the way I'm doing it.
Right.
And sometimes I have still done it.
Right.
And it's turned out exactly the way you
thought.
That's
being an adult.
Yeah. But other times I went, whoa, you're absolutely right. I'm going to change the direction. And if you keep the positive people, the people that are driven and just are have a drive to do better, those are the people that just have the information you need to make good choices in your life. Are you texting?
Sorry. My phone binged and then I can't see it. So I have a little girl at gymnastics right now who's not feeling well.
Speaking of things that are important, so we should probably get off here, and so you can check on your little girl, make sure she's okay.
Sounds good.
As always, James from Soaring Profits. Sorry?
Patrick, are you texting? I love it.
We haven't had that problem before because we can't see. It looks like we can see, but we really can't. So if he's texting, I just want to learn his craft because that's freaking amazing.
I'm dying. That's actually
Let's heal our mind, bodies, and souls together.
And folks, let's try to make a little money together. As always, guys, thank you so much, and catch us next time when we're
not texting.
Right. Take care, folks. Have a good night.
Hey, folks, thanks again for joining us at Soaring Profits. Patrick and James, please like, subscribe, and share, and
follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and of course, Facebook. And let's start a dinner table discussion right on this page right here. Let's start talking about the topics that we're talking about today.
Thanks again, folks. Appreciate it.